Getting CXO employment contracts right is very important. For who? For the promoters, the founders who started the company, and the investors who are investing in a company, right? Now, attracting the right talent for what is the purpose of, why do you want to get CXO contracts right? You want to attract the right kind of talent for top positions of a company. That's one of the top priorities for a promoter. That's a top priority for an investor. If they are attracting the right talent for the company will grow, right? And if this is not done, it is not possible for a business to succeed. Okay. The next part is that if you attract the right talent, you have to give them the right kind of offer, right kind of opportunities, and then also retain them. And that also is a challenge, right? A bad contract now in this regard can ruin everything. And a harsh contract. So if you have a bad contract, it can ruin things for the company. If it's too harsh on the CXO, you will not be able to attract the right talent. So it will be a non-starter, right? Now, how do you hire, onboard, and activate top professionals in CXO positions? What are your responsibilities as an HR manager for these roles? So you may not have worked on this area. A lot of you in this session haven't worked on this area, right? But that doesn't matter. Skill sets in this area are very scarce, and there is a great need for talent on this. You can be a great asset for legal and compliance teams to get to work with the board of directors of the company. Okay, so that's a matter of great pride, right? If you were working with the board of directors on some of these issues, it would straight away be a matter. It would straight away, elevate your importance in the company. How many of you agree? Now, there's a lot more to CXO employment contracts than just your regular salary, benefits, bonus, working hours, and leave. This is what HR managers hiring factory workers or junior level employees in shops or offices. That's what we focus on, right? That's been the traditional area of focus for in employment laws. But CXO employment contracts are a new league altogether. Okay, so what is new about CXO employment contracts, and why do we say that it can be important? See, CXOs have access to a lot of strategic information about the company. They have access to resources about the company. If they misuse it, it can be very damaging for the company. Who can protect the company from that kind of misuse? You as an HR manager. There are other issues also which can impact the reputation, the image of an organization. You will need to address various things like possible conflicts of interest, threat of future competition from a CXO who leaves. You may need to negotiate indemnity. You may have the right kind of disclosure clauses, so that CXOs tell you if there's a conflict of interest, if there's something they need to say, if there's a issue they need to point, if there's an issue that can impact the company's operations, they should disclose it rather than hide it, right? So you want that kind of behavior to be incentivized. And how do you do that? You have an opportunity to do that through employment contracts. Okay, if you're too strict or if you're too onerous, it may be difficult to attract, retain, and incentivize the right talent. So you need to strike a balance. And what kind of balance is important, which side to lean on, let's discuss that. Incentive schemes also for CXOs can be very complicated. Okay, for example, do you understand the difference between something like a ESOP versus sweat equity? How many of you understand the difference between ESOP and sweat equity? Who can tell me on chat what's the difference? These are some of the things you need to be aware of, and it's not to scare you. Okay, it's not that difficult to get to it once you start learning this, but if you already understand, you can let us know. Do you understand the different ways in which remuneration and incentives of senior professionals are structured so that their tax can be minimized and other liability can be minimized? Like when you create a regular salary structure, what do? You try to minimize what will be the organization spend on PF, okay, or other ESI or other related contributions. How can we minimize, the contribution? How will we divide the allowances and the basic salary? Right now, here in top executive compensation, you'll also have to see, acha, how do we help different parties in minimizing their tax liability? Also, how do we help them have the right incentives? Also, okay. So there's one more benefit now, by the way, that I want to tell you about, of learning employment related formalities of CXOs.